Palmer is a patron, and he asked questions in the patron channel, so I pull from those first, right? Which is, what question do you most want to ask each other?
Ooh, okay. This will be. We're not each of us going to ask each other a question, right? I think we should all like come to a consensus. Like,
what's the one question?
The other three, the other three people come to a consensus on what they want to ask, and then we form the question for that person.
Oh, so we're three of us are ganging up on one person.
Yes,
I'm down.
And then we'll go around. So we each get asked a question, but like as a
Opti didn't talk much in the last question, so let's all gang up and ask a question. What do we eat? What do we want to ask Opti?
I'm interested in stuff about Gangs of the Undercity and just like the process of creating and building a.
I love it. Let's turn this into a promote Opti's games company.
Well, I'm curious about
how
I'm joking. I'm serious.
Beginning of a campaign.
I'm curious about something about like the startup process. Starting a business has always, for me, and I know it must have been the same for you. It's just that's not really our thing. So like to finally
that's a good question.
That be part of your wheelhouse. Like what was the mental? Mm-hmm.
I think to riff on that, and Cliff, if you want to further riff on mine and change the question that I'm about to change of Oz's, I feel free. But if you understood anything I just said,
add to this.
What I want to ask
with wings.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
You can
anymore.
break the wind with a wind brake suit, if you would like. I want to know, how does someone go from? It seems so foreign to me. How does someone go from thinking I can do that to actually doing it? You know what I mean? Like I have lots of ideas. I've thought of great board games. I think they're great, but I've never felt like I could take that leap. How did you make that leap?
Should I wait for Cliff to refine that, or is that the final question?
Oh, am I supposed to add something to it?
You can if you want. I was just giving you permission since I was taking over, like I often do.
Okay, I will just leave the question sit. It seems long enough to me already.
How do you even answer? So I can only answer for me, but okay, patrons, forgive me for this. I'm going to answer as honestly as I can. Anger can spur you to do things. I think that's actually the purpose of anger. is to get you
to motivate action.
Like, it's the fuel that can get you to do something that you. So, okay, I'm gonna get esoteric here for a second. People get angry when their will is thwarted. Okay, So if their will is to survive, threats to survival will make you angry. Right? Like it's a survival mechanism. If you want to go left and your friend wants to go right, if depending on how important it is to you, you will get angry, right? Because your will is being thwarted. And I got super tired of my will being thwarted in the TT RPG industry.
Sure.
That is as clearly as I can say it. This low burning anger about the mistreatment of myself and other people in this community finally pushed me to a point where I didn't want to do the things that I really love doing. And that made me angry. And combined with a bunch of like side peripheral things that I kept hearing about people that I care about, and I didn't have anything to do about it. My will was being thwarted. My will to see my friends and people that I care about, thrive and do well was being thwarted by people treating them crappily. So that anger built up in me, right? And just sustained me. That's the fuel part, right? that didn't go away. It just kept building and building. It was like storing gas cans, right, for some, weird future that might never happen, right? I'm going to need this fuel sometime. And then I had an idea. I had a number of ideas, right? And then finally I just said, you know what? This is an idea. I'm just going to do it, which was the worst possible idea I had, right? Like I had a million ideas and they're all in my folder. And then I just picked the one that would be the most difficult for some reason. And I'm like, let's do that one. And I didn't give myself a second chance. I didn't second guess myself, which is absolutely bonkers if you know me, because I second guess myself about everything. And this time I just said, I'm not doing this. I am going to try this. And I never, ever stopped to ask myself if this is going to be good or if it's going to fail. I just never even asked myself that question. Because if I did at any number of points along the way, I would have said, this is not a good idea. I need to stop. I know at any point, if I actually asked that question of myself, I would have come up with reasons that I was going to fail. But the bottom line is, and here's, so that was where the fuel came in, right? Like every time I started to like ask that question and go down that, I just grab some fuel and be like, no, fuck those guys. like I'm going to fucking do this. Fuck you. I'm going to fucking show you that I can do this, right? Like if I can do this, there's no reason you can't fucking do this. Right?
All right. Well, I got to answer that question differently on the monetization profanity question.
So, and then the third part, the third part of this is having people support me. In the early days, I cannot say enough about how Palmer and Garde-Manger were just there. Like they were just, I would say, hey, here's an idea. And they would be like Johnny on the spot saying, yeah, or like, what about this? Like it was just having people be excited about the same thing you're excited about and be in your corner. That is so empowering, right? And then along the way, you start bringing in people like, Oz has been part of it. Cliff has been a huge part of it now. Bobby is still working on his skill set so he can be a part of it. That was a little bit of a jab, just kind of. But like, yeah, just having people on your team. So I would say like fuel, anger, right? If you can't find anything else, anger works really well. And just doing it, right? Having an idea and then just doing it. There's no mindset change other than I'm doing this. like you can't stop me. I'm doing this. Like that's the only mindset change that I really had, right? Because everything else was just like I had the skill set for all of this other stuff, right? Yeah. Like I can talk to people about cool ideas. Mm-hmm. Like we do that all the time. It's just at every new step where I'm learning like, oh shit, I don't know how to do this. It was okay. Let me figure out how to do this. My anger is sustaining me and my friends are helping me. And I'm just not saying no. Right. And you'd be surprised at how much you can actually get done and under those circumstances. Now, anger is not motivating me anymore. Right. Which I think is a good thing. Right. It's unsustainable and unhealthy. Now we're doing something cool and I'm really happy about it. And I'm really excited about it. But the anger at the industry for not being better drove me quite a bit. So I'm sorry, patrons. I know doing things out of anger can make things uncomfortable for people, but we want to give our patrons the whole truth
and nothing but the truth. Man,
that was
a question talk. I thought was just going to be a dumb question. No offense, Palmer. Dumb questions are fun too. That was a really great answer. I think we all learned something.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
We have reached the end of the show.
What? All right, well, this will have to be a 4-part series then.
Let's do this question again.
Yeah, I'll bring that question back.